Oh man, my first memory of music is really hard to pinpoint. I grew up in a musical household. My dad and my mom were both musicians. My dad long before I was in the picture. And I guess my first my dad was getting me up on stage when I was 1 year old. I couldn't talk yet, but I could sing. And we have video footage, so I guess that is kind of more of a memory of me kind of toddling up on stage, and I sang the ABCs, and then the audience clapped, and I put the microphone under my hand, and I clapped for myself, and then I got it out, and I wouldn't give the microphone back. So that was probably, yeah, and I still haven't. My mom used to have to wave my bottle to get me off stage. That still works. I respond to food as bribery. I think three things in particular inspired where I am right now and creating Sassafras. I became a parent, I lost a parent, and I turned 40. And I think all three of those things change your perspective, they shift the way you think. Your priorities change. Suddenly the things that used to be so important aren't important anymore. And you're kind of confronted with your own mortality and realizing, I'm not here forever. Why do I place so much value and power in the hands of people that are judging and criticizing me who don't even know me? Or, I find that, I've always been a bit more of a people pleaser. And I think a lot of artists or entertainers tend to be, because you're trying to please your audience and connect with them. But I think you get to a point where you actually need to not place so much value on worrying about what people think. And I think it's a really freeing time. And this album is a real celebration of that freedom in speaking my mind and talking about what's really important to me. Because I travel so much, I tend to predominantly listen to music in the car. And most cars still have CD players, so I do have some old school CDs, but with touring so much and traveling so much, as a musician, streaming is not something that you necessarily, it's a love-hate relationship. But I tend to consume music that way, listening to Spotify when I'm traveling. When I'm home, however, I have shelves and shelves of vinyl. And to me, I love just the ceremony of, it's kind of this unwinding, relaxing, really being intentional and listening, and it's an experience. And I love picking up, the sleeve and putting it on and putting the needle down, and I just kind of feel myself go, like, it's a moment for me to really enjoy it. And for some people, they pour themselves a glass of wine at the end of the day. For me, I put on some vinyl, and that's my way of unwinding. Yeah. I guess the listening experience for me is very different. When I'm listening to streaming or Spotify, it can very much be background music. I tend to use Spotify as almost like the old listening stations in record stores, where you go, you see what you like. If it's your thing, you get to kind of check something out. And if you fall in love with it and it grabs you, then I want to go out and I want the vinyl. I want the liner notes. I want the beautiful photos. I want the artwork. I want the lyrics. I want to see who produced it. I want to see who played tambourine on this song. I want to know everything about it, and I want to really connect with it. And I think that's where you have a relationship with it. So I guess Spotify is speed dating, vinyl is marriage.
Wow.
I guess the way that I've recorded my last 3 albums, they've all been live off the floor, recorded within a few days, all of the band and myself all in the same room. And you do a few takes and you pick the best take, and sometimes the one with, you might be making a few mistakes, but it has the best energy. So for me, I definitely gravitate to a sound that's more rough around the edges. I love a more lo-fi sound. I always say, you know, the sound of Etta James singing and her mic just totally blowing out because it can't handle her voice. I love that. I love Howlin' Wolf's mic, or Screamin' Jay Hawkins when you listen to I've Got a Spell on You and he screams and you just hear the mic going, you know, it can't handle it. I love that. And I find that a lot of that is lost now, and because the equipment back then couldn't handle it, and that's what I love. That's what I want in my albums, because it kind of comes, it's like this passion you can't contain, and it gives this kind of feeling of something that's about to fall over, that dangerous excitement. That's definitely what I strive for in my music. Daddy's mama was a child of the nation, raised on a white man's little reservation. 3 girls, 1 more in the belly of her mama, robbed by death, giving life to her daughter. Baby grew up fast, yes, she was a fast one. 1 half child, the other half woman. Shotgun wedding for the baby arrived. Man run off, left a child to raise a child. Partake of pleasure and reap the shame. The hand that holds the power assigns the blame, and this old world turns on a woman's pain. Throw me a bone and I'll make you a woman. God said to Adam in the Garden of Eden. The moment her lips touched forbidden fruit, he said, I'll curse you with pain and a man will rule you. Partake of pleasure and reap the shame. The hand that holds the power assigns the blame, and this old world turns on a woman's pain.